Hi, I'm Jennifer Simmons with AIM, and welcome to the final weekly video recap of the 2023 legislative session. We have a bigger crew with us today. Of course, our CEO, Matt Greller, Government Affairs Director, Jenna Knepper, and also today we have our Policy Director, Campbell Ricci, and AIM Government Affairs Manager, Chris Bandy. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
All right, before we talk issues, I have two things I want to spend some time on today. One is the process and trying to give AIM members a sense of what the last week of session was like from an activity standpoint. I'd also like to spend a few minutes talking, really taking a point of personal privilege to say how impressive this team is between forming the legislative agenda with policy and legislative committees, crafting and executing a comprehensive grassroots effort in the off session, playing defense on hundreds of bills, spending hours maybe negotiating just a single bill, and so on and so on. I mean, so much goes into a legislative session and making things work. So job well done. Like I said, so impressed and proud to be a part of this team. Matt, I'm guessing you have a lot to add here as well. But it should also, I think, be said that you have spent hours upon hours this session texting members, reaching out with very specific and urgent requests and I think that should be acknowledged as well. You're a very active member of the legislative team. And so I think the kudos extends to you as well. But I think you probably have a lot more to offer to the rest of the crew.
Well, thanks, Jennifer. I would, I guess, every session's a little bit different, right? But this one was unique in that more of our issues, it seemed this time, came down to the final minutes of session. And we had some very big ticket items, very critical items to cities and towns. And the team did an exceptional job of navigating those to either limit impact, remove impact completely, or make sure it was something positive for our membership. And that, I think, is a great testament to how well things went this session. Of course, there's always going to be a bill that passes that one segment of our membership or another will not love. That's part of it going through a session. But all in all, the over 1,000 bills filed, a couple hundred bills at least passed and awaiting the governor's signature. The team did a fantastic job. It's, I think, the second session now that Jenna's been leading the crew, a second session for Chris with AIM, third or fourth session for Campbell with us, running the policy things and doing a lot of behind the scenes work. So I couldn't be happier with how everything turned out. And we've already got a lot on our plate to work on in the interim, and we'll get into that here in a little bit and heading into next session.
Yep, that's right. Chris, you were in charge of keeping an eye out for conference committees and making sure the whole team was aware of what was coming up. I'd love to know what that last week of session was like for you, and kind of do a day in the life of Chris Bandy, where you're trying to monitor these conference committees that are just coming down one after the other, and still lobbying and having to be on hand for, like Matt said, all of these bills that were really coming down to the wire. So tell us how that works, how the process works, but then just for you, how you're able to manage that.
Yeah, I'm happy to, Jennifer. Like you said, conference committee time, it becomes pretty hectic when we're over at the State House with conference committees being filed. It seems like every 30 minutes or so. We just had to be very aware of what's going on. I had to invest this session in a portable charger to keep my phone alive while I was in the State House, because you're right, I'm spending time on my phone just updating the IGA's website as well as my emails to see where these conference committees are going to be, when they're going to be, and which conferees and the advisors that have been appointed to them. I think we had 2 days where we had more than 25 conference committees scheduled. Other than that, just being on top of that process, sitting either I'm in the lobby of the State House in between meetings, just refreshing my phone, looking at these updates from the various sources when it comes to how these are scheduled, and then playing the very intricate game of trying to find someone who is available at 11:30 of 20 minutes away to be able to hop down and watch these conference committees. So it's a real juggling act, and it really does keep me on my toes. I mean, the whole team on our toes during conference committee.
Yeah, I'd like to know, so those are supposed to be posted with 2 hours notice. They stick to the 2-hour rule pretty hard and fast this session?
Yeah, for the most part, like those really busy days, I'm pretty fortunate. A lot of those got scheduled the evening before, but I mean, even when you're in the midst of it, you still have to remind yourself that there's a 2-hour notice, but sometimes you just get caught up for an hour and a half and you kind of catch it 30 minutes in advance. But I think our team did a great job. We covered every single conference committee this session.
That's amazing. It really is. Nice work on that. Campbell, I want to circle back. I mentioned the legislative agenda. You coordinate with the policy committee members, really starting now until the next legislative session, helping to craft Ames legislative initiatives, in addition to getting their feedback on bills that are filed or issues we're hearing about. When you see the final session outcomes, where we had great success with our initiatives, you have to feel a sense of pride and satisfaction, right? I mean, you've sort of watched these issues from the kernel of an idea all the way through to becoming law. So I'd like two things. One, just talk about the process and then maybe just a quick highlight on where our initiatives landed.
I'd be happy to. Well, our initiatives this year, many of them we haven't just worked on this year, we've been working on for several years. That's true of the outdoor refreshment areas. That has been on our agenda for many, many years, as well as the prepayments issue that has also been on our agenda and ILMCT's agenda for several years. The process basically starts with me emailing all of Ames policy committees. Those are committees of our members who specialize in some issue area. You have one on infrastructure, you have one on utilities, one on municipal finance, on and on. And I send messages out to them trying to get ideas. I take all the ideas that are given and I put them in a big document and talk about them internally with our legislative team. We think about what's feasible, how we would execute it, what we think are the most important issues given what's being talked about at the State House, on and on, try to prioritize those and then bring them to the legislative committee. And then the legislative committee decides which ones they want us to spend our valuable time pursuing in any given session. And then once we have that approved by the legislative committee, it goes to the board of directors. When they approve it, we start trying to get members of the State House to carry the bills for us. And this year we had 3 initiatives pass where we managed to get that done. And one initiative I want to mention that was introduced, but then didn't end up going to the finish line. So the 3 that passed, first, the designated outdoor refreshment areas, like I mentioned before, this has been one for years. This year had a lot of organic support. Like I would want to say 6 bills maybe were filed on this issue from all sorts of legislators, some just for their area, some for statewide. This is just an ability for municipalities to designate an area of their town or city where alcohol can be carried out and consumed within the boundaries of the area. And this is either for a permanent amenity or for specific festivals and events. And I want to give a shout out to Chris, who shepherded that one all the way across. We worked a lot on the language on the House side to get it into place where it would be really good for our members. So we worked well with all the authors and sponsors of that, with Senator Brown, who introduced it, Representative Lehman, who carried it on the House side, and Representative Manning, who was the chairman on the House side, who worked a lot with us to get the language in the right spot for Ames. Another one of our initiatives was the prepayments and deposits issue. So this, like I said, has been an issue for years where local units, based on this State Board of Accounts opinion, can't make deposits or prepayments on purchases. And especially in the era of high inflation and supply chain issues, it became worse and worse, where contractors would actually not give you the contract unless you could secure it. And so this finally got it going in the legislature. Senator Andy Zay authored that on behalf of a conversation he had with one of his members locally, and we worked with him all the way through the process to get that in a great place. So now you can make prepaid payments and deposits up to 50% of the project costs, or $2 million. So that was another great thing. Like I said, we worked on that for years. This year, the political conditions were just right for it to actually finally go through. And then the third initiative that we passed came out of the Housing Task Force. It was one of our recommendations to the task force to try to increase housing affordability and the overall size of the housing stock in Indiana. And this was just to expand the residential TIF statute. So under the old law, you could only use a residential TIF if you had 1% growth or less in the last 3 years of housing in your community, and if the school board signed off on it. Both of those restrictions were removed in House Bill 1005. It was a bit of a process getting there because originally this was introduced in 2 different bills, neither of which moved forward, and then was amended into House Bill 1005. But we worked very well with all the people who authored and sponsored that. Ultimately, Senator Rogers authored Senate Bill 300, which didn't end up moving forward, but she did end up getting that into House Bill 1005, which she was also carrying. The only caveat on that is that at the very end of session, and basically the last bill that was passed, it limited this change to just a 4-year sunset. So for 4 years, this change is in effect, and then it goes back to the old process. Obviously, we're going to watch how residential TIF works, and if things are working well and it's working as intended, then we'll come back and try to get that sunset removed at a later date, very likely. And then the last initiative, which we've been working on for years and have made some progress on, is trying to have the ability to, instead of publishing notices in the paper, publish them online. House Bill 1438, as introduced, would have done that. It would allow all the local notices to be published online. In the end, that just became a recommendation for a study committee topic. We have made some progress on that in years past, like I said, where you can make the second post electronically, but still the first one had to be in the paper. And there's still interest in that from both Senator Buck on the Senate side and Representative Miller on the House side to try to modernize that going forward. So we'll keep working on that. But that was the one initiative that we didn't totally get over the finish line. But overall, I think 3 out of 4, including some pretty big wins, was a great session. And I want to thank everyone who brought those issues to our attention and worked with us on the language and the process. That's how it works around here. So just so you know that if you have ideas and you want that sort of thing to happen to them, you got to send them to me. And even if it doesn't happen the first year that you send it to me, we don't stop working on these things. And all of them, 2 of the 3 that we passed have been multi-year efforts that we finally got done. So just wanted to make that little plug. I will be emailing out more requests for proposals in the coming months, and go ahead and the more you work with me on that, the more of a chance we have of getting
right.
that.
Yeah, I mean, we can't change the law if we don't know about the problem. So definitely take Campbell up on that. The time is now. If you have ideas, just send them in. We will certainly put them on the list for discussion over the summer. Jenna, today's written legislative summary covers where we landed on key issues like READY, public health, gas tax indexing, police and fire merit language, property taxes, and a few other items. But I think there's a couple things we need to go into detail a little further. But first, I just want to see if you want to offer any reflections about the session. We haven't called on you yet. Any thoughts you want to get out there?
It was a whirlwind, for sure. And I think, I'm in the process of taking inventory of where we started with those over 1,000 bills filed and where we ended. I think, in the kind of the heat of it, the thick of it, there's always some bills that you really wish wouldn't have got across the finish line, or things you did wish got across the finish line. But given where we started and where we landed, it really is a testament to the entire team reaching out to legislators, including big topics like TIF. We're going to talk about some things we didn't love, but overall, I mean, where we landed was a lot better than where we started with the introduced version of House Bill 1085. When it comes to food and beverage, that's been an ongoing conversation and maybe some more clarity for requests in the future. So some things that maybe, I wasn't necessarily thrilled with. I think if we go back to the context of, all right, this is where we started and where we landed, a lot of it, in large part due to our members reaching out, I think we landed in a pretty good spot, and really set the runway for future conversations and future sessions. So I'm glad I got to sleep in between the end of session and this question, because I think I would have been in a different place Thursday at 3 a.m. Or Friday at 3 a.m. compared to where I'm at now.
Fair, that's fair. Well, let's talk about property taxes first, really, because this is something we started reporting on the first week of the legislative session, and our message was something's going to happen, but it's probably not going to happen until the last hours of session. I think that rang true. This one of the final bills negotiated was regarding what lawmakers wanted to do on residential property taxes. So what happened? Where did this end up? It's, at least from our perspective.
Yeah, really, I think from the start, I remember seeing a first draft of talking points from Campbell before session even started about really focusing in on targeted property tax relief. And I'll probably say this phrase a few times throughout is, I think all in all, it could have been worse. We haven't seen the final fiscal for House Bill 1499, which is where all of the property tax provisions landed. Largely, there's also Senate Bill 325 and Senate Bill 46, which kind of go in conjunction with 1499. But what leadership is saying on the last day of session is they anticipate 1499 to be a statewide impact of $100 million. And I think Campbell can probably talk to the specifics a little more about. It'll be interesting to see how much of that burden is on schools, because there's 2 or 3 provisions really specific to schools. But ultimately, the provisions that are in there are temporary. A 2-year change to the MLGQ formula, and some additional deductions that are allowed under the bill. But I'd say ultimately, a good spot. It was one of the last bills that was passed this session, but I'm sure Campbell or Matt might have more to add on the specifics.
I'd just add that from a high level point of view, I guess, you have to look at what cities and towns received this legislative session when you're talking about the impact from property tax modifications that are in 1499. So start with the budget. $500 million in ready money coming to local governments, a couple $100 million in public health money coming to local governments to address issues that we've talked about at length. New tools for TIF that on the housing side that I'm sure we'll get into here in a little bit. So overall, the impacts, I think, from the property tax issue, pretty minimal when compared to everything else positive that happened this session. And as Jenna mentioned, they're temporary. So I think not great, not fun. We'll have to learn to figure out how to manage those issues, but certainly something I think we can absorb over the next couple of years.
Sure. Campbell, did you want to add anything on that?
I can go over what the changes were specifically, or if we want to leave that to the written part. I would just say the biggest changes for us was just the biggest change was the levy cap. Right now, levy growth is capped at 6% or a 6-year running average of income growth, and they'd lowered that cap to 4% for the next 2 years. And because the way that incomes have been growing recently, we were up at 5% in this year, and it may go even a little bit higher next year just because of the way the formula works. So that you actually will feel. But that being said, I'll say that we're at an abnormally high place for the levy growth currently, and historically it's been much closer to 3%. And so the 4% cap is not an emergency, but it is definitely lower than it would otherwise have been. And the only other real thing that I would say is a significant impact on us was that they increased the homestead deduction by 5% for 2 years. So that's gonna be, a lot of that'll be shifted, but some of it'll go to the caps. So those were the two big things, compared to where it started, where they were talking about changing the property tax caps. I feel like we landed in a pretty good place. Like I said, like Jenna mentioned, a lot of the provisions are targeted at schools. One is targeted at their debt levies and one is targeted at their referenda. And that is going to be a significant dollar amount for the schools, which out of that total 100 million, I would expect them to absorb maybe 30–40% of that. And it could have been a lot worse. Obviously, we didn't, in the final negotiations, we were hoping that levy growth would end up higher than it was. But overall, it could have been a lot worse, since it started out being capped down at 3% in the introduced version.
Right, I was just gonna say that did start out, that's an example, like Jenna gave, some of these things did start out worse than they ended up, not as good as we'd hoped for. And Matt, you mentioned TIF. Campbell talked about residential TIF as well. There are some new RDC requirements. So, every session, I feel like, it's TIF, it's annexation, where we're kind of on the edge of our seats wondering what's going to happen, what new restrictions are we going to have for one of our most important economic development tools. So, maybe just talk a little bit about some of those highs and lows this session regarding TIF. And of course, Jenna and others, if you want to jump in, please do.
I would say definitely positive. I think we're seeing at least somewhat, well, we still have our detractors on TIF in the Indiana General Assembly. We certainly have supporters now too, maybe more so than we've ever had in the last 20 plus years. And Campbell alluded to that. So we had some very positive language passed for housing TIF that we can get into. As you mentioned, Jennifer, there are some new reporting requirements, spending plan requirements for TIF in the DLGF bill that Jenna can talk about here in just a second. On the detractor side, we did have language in the first half that would have changed the makeup of the redevelopment commission, making it a 4-person board instead of 5, which is somewhat bizarre because you would have a tie potentially vote. We also had language that would have required automatic pass-throughs once you hit certain levels. That language was pretty quickly extinguished, which we were glad to see. I'm sure it will be back in some form again next year and the year after and the year after. But overall, I think we're in a pretty good spot. We've got a growing number of legislators that have an economic development background and really understand the importance of TIF and how it's being used. And now that the state is likely going to use some version of that tool as well in the new LEAP district up in Lebanon at some point in the future, I think that will also help statewide understanding why it's such an important tool. But as far as the specifics, Jen, I'll turn it over.
Yeah, I think for even just a little more context too, House Ways and Means is a committee where all the TIF bills will ultimately land or go through. And I think it's become clear to us that we need to spend more time with members of Ways and Means to educate on TIF, even educate what kind of reporting requirements, what current safeguards are in place, because a lot of the ideas from House Bill 1085, which Matt just referenced, that didn't move, were coming from legislators on Ways and Means. But in conversations with Chairman Thompson, again, who's the new chair of Ways and Means, it was a lot about transparency. And so what ultimately did pass in the DLGF bill was requiring the RDC to adopt an annual spending plan that you can't deviate from. So I think for us and for municipal members across the state, you're going to have to be really strategic in what you put in that spending plan and make sure it is workable and flexible for the year. We did talk to Chairman Thompson about, if you want to require this plan, allowing RDCs to amend it throughout the year. Economic development doesn't just happen in December, and so about it in January to adopt your plan, but big projects come throughout the year. And so while that provision wasn't added, we're hopeful that there's enough flexibility within the statute to make your spending plan broad enough to account for those unique situations. As Matt mentioned, there were initial conversations about really changing up the makeup of the RDC, a last minute provision that we didn't see until the last day of session, changes for RDCs, for the appointment of the president and the vice president. Those appointments have to come from the two different appointing bodies. So the mayor would choose the president and the council, the vice president. So that was a change that we didn't really have any conversations on, but I would say of the, 5 or 6 provisions that were initially introduced, we're hopeful that these two won't be too detrimental to economic development, and we can continue to have an ongoing conversation about, the positives of TIF, particularly with the new chairman of Ways and Means too.
Thanks, Jenna. When you talked about some of those things, I caught that, something I wanted to touch on earlier in the conference committee process. We were seeing a lot this year of language coming in that had not been previously discussed, this being one, right? So that's something, I guess, in future years to prepare our members for that these topics can come up at the end that we haven't, that haven't been vetted, that haven't been discussed. I mean, how do you tackle that as a team?
I mean, there was language that we knew was floated as an amendment, but was never adopted, was never formally in a bill, dealing with rental inspections that got added to the DLGF bill. I mean, I've only been around for, 5 or 6 sessions, but this felt particularly new this year. And I think we identified, okay, there are 3 bills, the DLGF bill, 419, and the budget, and just a handful where there were these moving parts of provisions. And so, to be totally candid, Representative Snow, who is the bill author of the DLGF bill, I would just have to go find him in the State House and ask him, like, hey, there was some hospital language in the DLGF bill that we really didn't like. He told me it was coming out. Is it still coming out? So poor Representative Snow, I think he was probably sick of seeing me by the end of session, but it was just a kind of a unique thing. It was his first time carrying the DLGF bill. Luckily, we have a great relationship with him. So it's identifying, okay, what bills are potential homes for municipal finance related language, and who do we need to keep talking to throughout the process? Because there was quite a few, you're exactly right, provisions that didn't really see the light of day until the very end of session.
And one of those issues is just something I think we're going to see come back, or at least that was the scuttlebutt. Things like prohibiting local officials and municipal employees from sitting on boards and commissions. I know that was something we said might come back next year. There were a couple of issues like that. Road funding being the most, I think, impactful issue that we're going to have to work on in the off session. You want to talk about road funding, and then maybe some of the other things are going to come back again, either Jenna or Matt, anyone?
Yeah, I can jump in real quick, and then Matt, if you want to jump in. But with road funding in particular, there were a number of bills filed, particularly from Central Indiana legislators, dealing with how community crossings is allocated, or how the general road funding is allocated to cities, towns, and counties throughout the state. There's also been conversations with INDOT about electric vehicles. Those registration fees currently go to the local portion, or a big chunk of it goes to the local portion of the road funding. But as electric vehicles take over more of the market, is INDOT going to need some of those dollars to go to their portion of the road funding formula? And so I think where we landed, there was, a bill that passed for Marion County road funding that didn't impact other entities, but there's going to be the reestablishment of the first task force, which was created back in 2016, 2015, potentially, that ultimately resulted in the 2017 road funding package. And so that's where we kind of landed this session. Is we know we got to talk about electric vehicles, center lane versus miles. That's a topic that always comes up. So I think we'll have an appointment to that task force. It was included in the budget. It's just going to be a major topic, similar to probably what we dealt with a few years ago.
Yeah, that's amazing to me that, we're back here and I see why. And it was a really great, productive process. It gave us community crossings. It's just like my mind is like, wow, we're doing this again. And I'm actually kind of thrilled about it because when you look at the last few years, these task forces, when they dig a little deeper than an interim study committee, and they've always produced really good results, looking at the road funding, looking at the housing task force, the invisible infrastructure, which we call it, for wastewater and stormwater infrastructure. I mean, it's a solid process, and it has really worked in favor of municipalities. Matt, any thoughts on that?
I would agree. I think it's important to realize that the way that road funding money is set up now in particular is going to be a declining resource for cities and towns at some point in the not too distant future. So I do really appreciate the legislature's willingness to start looking at it now and start to plan going ahead. I think that's really important. I think it was mentioned briefly, but I'll just tell a quick little story. Last Friday, longtime town had not paid their AIM dues, and they have a new clerk treasurer, and I talked to him on Friday and said he just didn't see the value in AIM. And I said, well, have you received any community crossings money in the last few years? And he said, yeah, we just got $1 million this last round. I said, oh, okay. Did you receive any money from redevelopment association in your area from the READY program, READY 1.0? Oh yeah, we've got $6 or $8 million in the pipeline coming through. And I think it was important for him to hear that those programs don't exist without AIM's participation in summer study committees and task forces and making sure that municipal interests are represented. I'm not saying we're the sole reason those programs exist, but I can certainly say that without our work in the interim and during session, of course, these programs wouldn't be as good as they are today.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, especially looking at community crossings, not just the discussions in the task force, but as you were saying, like the work with NDOT that happens as they implement programs like that, and being in those conversations and being at the table so that when they are implementing new laws, they are hearing firsthand what the impact will be on municipalities and how they might make tweaks, and building those relationships through this process. It makes a difference. And like you said, when someone's questioning, the value, just in one award, there's the return on their investment through one community crossings grant, they're getting it back tenfold. So that's a great point. Anything else you want to add in terms of, or anyone wants to add in terms of things we're going to watch in the off session? Or Matt, any comments on TIF? No, we're good.
No, I think we're good on those topics for now.
Yep. All right. Well, let's leave it there. One more congratulations for the team. Also want to plug our May 9th webinar. It's our annual AIM legislative recap webinar. That's free for all AIM members. You can register at aimindiana.org. Also want to remind you, or for those new to AIM, we have a State House report that will be coming out soon, probably late May, early June. That's a comprehensive summary of all bills that touch municipal government in some way. That's a publication that we do produce every year following the legislative session. Want to say thanks to everyone for watching these legislative recaps each week. We hope they were helpful, somewhat entertaining. And to the legislative team, of course, thanks for putting up with all my bloopers, my swearing, pontificating, my dog. So thanks for that. And then I say to you, go get some rest. Thanks, everybody.